Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here, coming at you again with another video over on Ark Survival Ascended. And Ark just released the kind of dossier for the Bison, which is being released with Ragnarok. And it's actually going to be a really crazy creature. Now I'm going to talk about that in just a second, as well as some things you should be excited for over the next month or so inside of Ark Survival Ascended, because all these major updates are coming out, obviously including the Bison, which just released, including a few things that I have to speculate, I guess you could say. We'll see how accurate those are when they actually get released, just by judging on the actual dossier though. But let's go ahead and get started. So obviously they released this late last night, my time. And you can see that this is another community crunch, and they talk about the actual dossier of the Bison. Now, along with the Bison, there's actually going to be a few other tames that are kind of added back into the game. I don't know if you remember Ice Wyverns. They're going to be on Ragnarok because that's where they were originally started. Ice Wyverns are pretty cool. There's only 3 or 4 spots they spawn on Ragnarok. And then they're also going to be having, what's it called? Griffins. The breedable Griffins is going to be added in. And yeah, pretty cool. I'm assuming there's going to be 1 or 2 more creatures added in before that time. That's typically what they do. They have some sort of like premium creature that they will add in. I don't know what it's going to be, because the last 2 have been a little bit interesting. So we'll see, because the Dreadmare obviously came out, and then also the what's it called? Because it's a free map, so they're going to add something with it. I don't know what yet. It's going to be a modification of something in the game, which is kind of interesting. But you know, I'll get down to that later. But anyways, you can see June 18th is still their plan. I got a feeling it will release on June 18th, assuming the ASA update to 5.5 Unreal doesn't break everything. And we're going to get a lot of major changes in general. So I'm not going to, I mean, I can zoom in just so you can see. But basically, this is the dossier that we received late last night. Now, obviously, you can see it's an herbivore, it's territorial, but it's only territorial if anything larger than an Allosaurus comes nearby. And then they get crazy aggressive, apparently. And then obviously, you can see it as the whatever the time is, and then the actual Bison. Now, I want you to notice that there are cacti there. So I'm assuming that's also going to be over on Scorched Earth. It would make a lot of sense, which is kind of nice. And then there are 2 different, so there's a male Bison and a female Bison, and they both have different special abilities. The male Bison has some sort of trample effect. You can see that right here. And then with that trample effect, it has damage reduction or armor protection. I don't know which one it's going to be. So I don't know if it's going to be a soaking animal. I get the feeling that it is, because if you look, you have this like giant like thing on the back of it, right? So I have a feeling it's going to be able to use a charge, and you're kind of like going to sit on this region would be my guess. And then kind of like a woolly rhino, but it's like shielding you instead. I'm hoping it doesn't like replace the woolly rhino, because the woolly rhino it needs an update. It used to be everyone's favorite PvP tame, and now it's just not. But that's kind of like the male version of the actual Bison, the larger horns. It's got some sort of charge ability with some sort of armor. I don't know if it's penetration and reduction or just reduction, but we'll see. I also get a feeling that the more you have in a row, the more damage. That maybe it's like 1 times 2 times 3, whatever it is. That'd be really cool. So you actually have to stampede with like 5 or 6 of these things and just roll things. I mean, it's really difficult to do that, but it'd be pretty cool to do that. Obviously the next thing is the mother is going, or the female Bison is actually going to have something similar to Wyvern's milk. You can see that it's going to be interesting. Now this is where I say it's going to be interesting. They're adding in new recipes. Obviously that's cheese, right? Obviously that's milk. And there's some sort of like, I don't know what you want to call it, cheese bread or something like that, but a tamed mama Bison will provide a very useful dairy animal for your tribe. As long as she is nursing, the milk is extremely nutritious and actually pairs well with some of the more interesting recipes. So there's new recipes that are going to be added in, which is going to be interesting. They haven't done that in a long time, and any nearby baby creature will want some once they smell it. Heck, even baby wyverns treat it as their own mother's milk. So basically it serves as wyvern's milk, which is pretty cool. I'm hoping that it gives the debuff for flame as well, because wyvern's milk being the only thing that does that is kind of a pain in the butt and a major problem in like the PvP meta. But once you add, if we add this in, it actually gives you a reasonable chance to actually get a whole bunch of stuff that will prevent that. Now, that is the only major thing. Obviously, they're prepping to release new servers. So they're going to be taking down a bunch of the non-populated servers, and then the actual event to increase all rates. So all of that being said, right now, in the last update, they talked about, I'm going to go ahead and show you this just so you can see, this is UE 5.5. You can see that their plan is the second here, Astraeus Lemnocus, if you want to call it that. I can't speak apparently. You can see the Ragnarok Ascended, the Bison and Lost Colony expansion pass, day 0 content. Not sure what that's going to provide. They haven't really released that information to anybody yet, but I got a feeling though we'll hear something about it over the next week or two, maybe the week after they release 5.5, so we get a little bit of a teaser so people get excited again, because Ragnarok is arguably the most popular map. Some people would say that it's like later maps like Fjordor or Genesis 2, but Ragnarok is a really popular map. So I think a lot of people are going to come back for the PvP on Ragnarok, which is exciting, and PvE on Ragnarok because it's such a pretty map. And it looks like they've overhauled a little bit here, assuming this is the Highlands. And the Highlands needed a major TLC update, and I'm hoping it gets it because it's super pretty. Obviously, Griffins coming back is going to be huge. I don't know if they'll only have them on Ragnarok, but that'd be kind of cool if they did. And you can see that they're doing some basic stuff like adding in the Ark Incubator again. This new mini bosses are going to be added in, Club Ark updates, backup saves, Ragnarok Ascended, Bison, Lost Colony expansion pass. You can see a first step. I don't know if this means it's releasing with Ragnarok, or if it's going to be something that kind of like, it's like a Bob's Tall Tales where you buy this thing and it kind of, as they release their next few maps, this gives you like the content for it. So I'm not totally sure. I've got a feeling it's going to release something in the rag or no one's going to buy it yet. So that would be, in my opinion, they are doing a little bit of money grab with that, but I won't get involved too far into that one because I'm still excited to play the game. But this Bison is going to be super cool. So you should be excited to use it. Adding things like this, and the more tames they add, the more meta shifts and the more options you have. And really, in my opinion, they're still just limit testing for Ark 2, which I think we're going to see next year. And I'm hoping, again, this is hoping is the key word, that we will see it next year, because we've got really a few canon updates, and that being like Genesis 2, and the Lost Colony. Once those 3 release, the only thing left is Ark 2. And I don't know if you've paid attention to it. They said Ark 2 is done. The only reason they haven't released it yet is we don't have the technology. With the 50 series, there's no way that people don't have the technology. So I'm hoping that this 5.5 update kind of rolls everything in, and we kind of start moving towards the future of Ark instead of kind of in this limbo state that we're in, where we're not sure if it's more popular or less popular than Evolved, and it's fighting. It's a very interesting place that we kind of sit in. But anyways, tell me what you think, but I think it's going to be a huge thing for this Bison that got released late last night, but I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments below. But anyways, if you don't mind, smash that like button, leave a comment below for that algorithm, and then consider subbing to the channel. All right, teach.